Greetings all, welcome back to Just Plain Crypto. Today, we'll take a look at the markets here real quick, but we're going to answer the question of what do you actually do with your Bitcoin? That's the big thing that people ask is like, well, what do you buy Bitcoin and then what do you do with it? I mean, who takes Bitcoin? What can you buy with it? And as someone who knows about crypto and who's been investing for a little bit and understands what Bitcoin is, that just kind of blows our mind a little bit because to us, we understand that you don't want to spend it, right? There are a lot of places out there that will accept Bitcoin. People, typically, what you need to do right now, though, is you hold Bitcoin. Because why would you buy something with an asset that goes up 200% a year? It doesn't make any sense. Now, what you need to be doing if you run a business out there is find a way to accept Bitcoin as payment for your services. I don't know what the legislation is with different states. I really can't advise to any of that. But if it is in your ability in any way, shape, or form to accept Bitcoin as payment for your business, you should start doing that. You should definitely start doing that. But the question does come up as to who uses Bitcoin and what you could possibly spend at it. So we're going to take a second and go through, a list compiled in 2021 of all the places that accept Bitcoin in the United States, and we'll just take a look at it. Again, the market is green. We're all good. No calamities. And the market is green despite this legislation going on that everyone's worried about with crypto and the taxation and some things going on with that. I'll cover in a totally separate video, but it's funny. The market should be down right now. In my opinion, that legislation is a little late, and they actually meant to do it earlier when Bitcoin was at 30,000 to try and push the price a little lower for the big boys to get in there. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's take a look at the article that we got. Who accepts Bitcoin as payment? And this is on Bitcoins here. A 2020 survey by HSB says that 36% of small, medium businesses in the U.S. accept Bitcoin. 36%. Guys, I didn't even know it was that many. Right? They're probably just not advertising. But Wikipedia, I mean, who cares? It's a charity deal. Microsoft and AT&T accept Bitcoin as payment. So is it just internet funny money? That's what I keep hearing, internet funny money. That goes up 200% a year over the last 12 years. So let's take a look. Microsoft, AT&T, oh, look, Burger King, KFC, Overstock.com. Overstock is a famous online retailer that sells big-ticket items at lower prices due to overstocking, partnered with Coinbase to allow Bitcoin payments to their online orders. So Overstock is a smaller version of Amazon, guys. So if you really wanted to spend your Bitcoin on junk, right, stuff from China, you can do that if you want to. I get the question. I'm just answering the question. All right. Subway, Twitch, Pizza Hut, Miami Dolphins. You can buy your Miami Dolphins tickets. You can buy the Dallas Mavericks tickets. Virgin Galactic, Norwegian Air. You can buy a plane ticket. Norwegian Air Shuttle, Norwegian Scandinavia's largest airline and Europe's third largest budget airline, plans to provide a payment solution enabling customers to pay for tickets with cryptocurrency. So not just Bitcoin. You can maybe buy a ticket with Dogecoin. We are so early in this, guys. So early. Okay. Eventually, everything is going to have a Bitcoin price next to it. Okay. Everything is going to have a Bitcoin price, which is why I say it does not matter what Bitcoin is compared to fiat, garbage, Federal Reserve notes. Doesn't matter. Things are going to be priced in Bitcoin. Does that mean Bitcoin's going to be the world currency? No. Because the globalists have that, all right? The globalists will have their own thing, but Bitcoin is always going to exist as something to be measured against, which is like what gold was supposed to be, all right? Gold was supposed to be the measurement that things were measured against. Gold got taken over, okay, where they allowed it where you could create a promise of gold or a derivative and treat it just as though it was gold as far as the markets are concerned, and that's why gold has not gone up in a long, long, long time, because there is no price discovery. It's corrupted. You cannot measure anything against gold because you don't know how much gold there is. Not true with Bitcoin, guys. Not true with Bitcoin. You know exactly how much Bitcoin is out there, when it's moving, what's coming on and off the exchanges, who owns what more or less. Wallets, you don't know exactly who unless they tell you, but you know these wallets that have large sums and what they're doing with their Bitcoin. All right. There is no artificial, fake, derivative, phony, counterfeit Bitcoin out there. Everything is going to be measured against Bitcoin in the future. So, but if you want to buy some football tickets, you can buy football tickets with Bitcoin. Namecheap is a domain registrant you could pay for with crypto. Cheap Air, Gift, Newegg, another Amazon. I was just on Newegg yesterday because the last video I did, my screen and everything went black for about 10 seconds, and it turns out that I've actually used up all the RAM, and that's like never happened. So I have to double the RAM. Went to the old Newegg. Apparently I could use my Bitcoin and cash my portfolio out to buy some more RAM for my computer if I felt like doing so. Now, if you want to pay for something in Dogecoin, that might not be a bad idea. But we're talking Bitcoin specifically, and Bitcoin you don't want to spend. You want to have a business where you accept Bitcoin, where you collect Bitcoin, and you hold, right? You hold. The Internet Archive, a San Francisco-based nonprofit digital library, also accepts Bitcoin. The Pirate Bay accepts Bitcoin. They're a donation site, though. 4chan, again, is a donation website. Amazon, but not directly. They will. Mark my words, they will. While Amazon, the biggest online retailer today, doesn't accept Bitcoin directly, you can use purse.io to shop for anything on the site and pay with Bitcoin. The site connects people who have Bitcoin and who want to buy Amazon with people who want to get Bitcoin in return for fulfilling an order. There you go, guys. If you can use Bitcoin on Amazon, you can buy anything you want. ExpressVPN, Benfica, Quiznos. A lot of, it appears like a lot of these fast food chains and stuff are all accepting crypto. That's just kind of interesting. I wonder why that is, if they're all owned by the same parent company or what that is. It's just kind of weird. Stores that accept Bitcoin as payment. Now, I don't have real time to read through all this list, but remember when I said the opening article, it said 36% of businesses it will accept crypto as payment. So, the people out there say, oh, I got my Bitcoin and now what do I do with it? Nothing, right? That's what you should do. You should buy Bitcoin and do nothing with it. But if you want to waste your money on a Tesla and give Elon Musk one of your Bitcoins for a car that depreciates in value as soon as you take possession of it, that will never be worth what you paid for it again, ever, right? You take possession of your $40,000 Tesla, it immediately is worth $30,000 and continues going down from there. And then you gave Elon Musk a $40,000 Bitcoin that's going to be at 100K likely by the end of the year. It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any. But that option is available out there for people, who want to do that. Obviously, if you're a Bitcoin bajillionaire and you have thousands of Bitcoin, you can operate completely without the need for fiat currency, right? Currently today, you can operate completely without the need for fiat currency. Especially with Amazon doing things like grocery delivery and things like that now. If you live in reasonable distance of a larger city, yeah, you could do everything on Amazon using Bitcoin and through all these other organizations. And I'd bet small businesses in your area, if you need a washer and dryer or need it delivered, you deal with them and say, I'd like to pay in Bitcoin. I'm sure they would take it if they know what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, just a whole big long list of places that you can spend Bitcoin. Now there's also in countries now that accept Bitcoin out. This is what's happening is the poorer countries that have been kind of used as, low cost labor is a nice way to say slave, but used as low cost labor by the globalist and by the Federal Reserve and America, hegemony, whatever. They're getting wise to it, the whole scam, and they don't want to be a part of it. They've gone bankrupt many times over. They're tired of walking around with their $1 trillion bills because of inflation. They're kind of sick of it, and they're moving to Bitcoin standards. And in these countries, you have things called a Bitcoin ATM, where if you actually wanted to cash out some of your Bitcoin for whatever the currency is in their country, you go to a Bitcoin ATM. You can also purchase Bitcoin from a Bitcoin ATM in these places, right? So not only are there shops and stores and airlines and, Amazon and all these places where you can use cryptocurrency, there are countries that are, if they have not completely, fully, officially adopted it, or have basically adopted it. Uruguay is one of the latest ones to come up into the news, where they've introduced a bill to allow Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to be accepted as a means of payment, which effectively makes it an official currency where if you operate or do a business in the country, you have to accept Bitcoin as payment. It forces the population. I mean, like right now in America, for instance, you can kind of accept whatever you want as payment. I don't know how the taxes would work on any of that stuff, but you're not forced to use whatever kind of currency, right? Well, in these countries, you're forced to use Bitcoin for a type of payment. So that means if another country wants to sell something to Uruguay or El Salvador or these places, Bitcoin is an option, and they could say that's the only way that we're taking it. Now, a lot of people will think that El Salvador was the very first one to. It says El Salvador becomes the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Well, Venezuela before that, the only way that you can get money in and out of the country and do commerce between nations and things like that was through a variety of different cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin. There was another one too, or you could use their crappy fiat. That was the option. So it has already happened in the past before El Salvador. But El Salvador is the one that made the news because they did it at the Bitcoin rally or the Bitcoin get together, whatever it was called, about a month ago. And yeah, the country, they're using Bitcoin. So now you're hodling unless you live in El Salvador. El Salvador is going to become one of the richest countries in the world in another 10 years. They keep doing their Bitcoin thing. I mean, the globalist guys are pretty strong though, and you never know what they're going to pull on them. But if you're living in an economy, all right, where everybody accepts Bitcoin and everyone is trading Bitcoin and everyone is purchasing and selling in Bitcoin, well then, yeah, you can use Bitcoin because in your economy, right, everyone's on that same Bitcoin standard. You're not you're not losing out so much because you're going to buy groceries from the grocery guy for Bitcoin, and then you're going to go to your job and get paid in Bitcoin. You understand? So it all evens out. But if somewhere in there you're trading Bitcoin for fiat, man, you are doing it wrong. You are doing it wrong. There's a thing to be said about taking profit, but that's not really for this video. Channel is really about investing, preserving your wealth, getting financial freedom, and getting rich. Okay? Getting rich. So you don't have to worry about that Social Security that's not going to be there when it's time for you to retire. If you're a Gen Xer or if you're a Gen Zer or whatever, don't be looking at that Social Security like it's going to be there. They even told us that in high school when I was like 16. The teachers did. How many people expect Social Security to be there and no one raised their hand? And then they went on to explain why Social Security is not going to be there. This is back when I'm 15, 16 years old. But we have the answer in Bitcoin. We have the answer in Bitcoin. We don't want that 401k. We don't want that Social Security. We want that money now so we can put it into Bitcoin so we can secure our future and not be well, I don't want to get into that. So yeah, Venezuela starts accepting Bitcoin for citizens to pay their passport renewal. Well, this is the most recent article for Venezuela. But if you do look it up, when they have some currency problems, they will accept Bitcoin for whatever you want to do in Venezuela. It's not an official currency, but if you want to do business with the government, they'll gladly accept your Bitcoin. All right, now, another one here is Nigeria. Nigeria shows Bitcoin can be a force for good, banning crypto unworkable. So Nigeria is one of these countries that hasn't figured it out. They don't have a very strong government, but they like to try and pass laws and think they have power. And they of course messed their economy up like a lot of these nations do because it's fiat currency. And when there is no cost to printing money, that's just what they do. It's kind of human nature. If you can get something for nothing, you're going to try for it, right? What ended up happening is because their currency is so debased and so worthless, is that Nigerians use a variety of means to not use their currency. And a lot of times it's gift cards they'll get US dollars through gift cards. And they've been using cryptocurrency. Now, Nigeria, it's something like 35% of the country uses Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a means to do business. And from what I understand, I think cryptocurrency is mostly illegal in Nigeria. So you understand that it does not matter what the United States legislation does with this stupid bill that they're trying to do right now, or what they do down in the future, or whatever. It doesn't matter, because you cannot stop Bitcoin. You cannot control Bitcoin. It is too big. It is too strong. They're going to be playing catch up. The only thing legislating against Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market is going to do for America is set them way behind the times compared to like El Salvador. We're going to go from the top supreme leader country with all the money to poor. And that's all that's going to happen. And it's not going to affect the people that are in America who have Bitcoin, because we can easily get out of America. We can easily go anywhere else in the world because they will take our Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin, and this is more for cryptocurrency than Bitcoin, because in America, Bitcoin is never going to be regulated or have anything happen to it, because so many big investment moguls are into Bitcoin. You know, all of the big players, all of them. So I wouldn't worry about that, but it's not really fair that other cryptocurrencies would have the screws twisted down on them. We'll see what happens, but the markets don't care. The markets don't care. Crypto is too strong. It's too strong. People see that little glimpse of freedom, man, and they run for it. And they go. That's it. And that's what Nigeria is doing. And any place that attempts to ban cryptocurrency, the same thing is going to happen. Of course, not much news gets out of China, right? But I would bet that their rate of crypto holding or crypto people purchasing crypto has exploded. Ever since they kicked the miners out, and they have rules against how much you can buy Bitcoin, but you have to buy it from the state, and you can only buy like $50 worth total or something. They have all sorts of rules. I would expect that the Bitcoin piracy in China is ridiculous. And there's going to be a whole sub-economy that's going to be based on Bitcoin as everything transitions. You know, the idea was that the economy gets crashed, and then they get to roll from the Federal Reserve, IMF system, fiat currency system into a central bank digital cryptocurrency. That was the idea. But Bitcoin's throwing the monkey wrench in, and people like their freedom too much. So this is where it's going to go. This is where it's going to go, and that's why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin in particular. So down here, we have a nice little graph that I want to point out to people before we get going. Now remember, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and do all that stuff. This is my very first week with this channel. It needs a lot of help. Thumbs up, or thumbs down if you don't like me. Either way, whatever. Subscribe to the channel, mark the little bell. I will start be doing live streams because it's a little bit easier to do a live stream. It's quite a bit more interactive, but I need some subs, guys. You got to help me out. Need some subs. So let's take a look at this. How common is crypto? Share of respondents in selected countries who said they used or owned cryptocurrencies in 2020. So this is a very up-to-date article. Nigeria, 32%. Now, I don't know who all they polled. They obviously, it says down here, 1 to 4,000 respondents per country. Nigeria is a pretty big country. I think they got like 30 million people, maybe even 100 million people. So that's not a very big sampling. But of the sampling, 32%. Right? And these are poor countries, guys. Remember, these are poor countries, but they're still using crypto. This is the thing that you get all the time about you know, well, how can crypto get so big? You need computers and you need all this stuff. And it's like, guys, even the poorest countries in the world, these people have phones. El Salvador, they all got phones. That's how they're transacting and doing business. All right. So don't worry about that. You're not going to run a Bitcoin node on your phone. I understand that, but you can transact, you can do business, you can do these things. Vietnam, 21% of people in Vietnam are using crypto. Philippines, yeah, 20%. Philippines is very, very, very bullish on cryptocurrencies. They have the most robust laws when it comes to cryptocurrency brokers and things like that, where they have the whole asset class figured out and exactly how they're going to regulate it. So the Philippines is probably also going to be one of the richest countries in the world. Turkey is a big one at 16%. Turkey and that Kazakhstan, Turkey, and the area out there, there's a lot of miners that are going there because power is cheap. Peru, never would have guessed. I haven't heard anything about Peru. 16%. Switzerland, 11%, of course. Kind of the banking capital of the world, I think. India, 9%. And they don't like, this is 9% of people in India. There's 1 billion people in India. So 9% is a pretty good chunk. 100 million people? 100 million people in India are using cryptocurrency. This is after India bans cryptocurrency like every other year. All right? 9% of people. China. 7% of people in China use cryptocurrencies. Okay, China's got 1 billion people. So that's 100 million people almost, right? 70 million people using crypto. The United States, only 6%. The United States is way down the bottom. You guys, I don't know if it's mind control or what, but you guys, look at that, only 6% of America, who are supposed to be the leaders of the world in technology and the way things are going to be. You know, we're like the internet guys. We're the guys that had the Industrial Revolution. We're all these great things. Cryptocurrency, we're down to 6%. 6% of people know about crypto. That's just a tragedy. But that's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm here. Try and bring that number up a little bit. Germany at 5% and Japan at 4%. Japan is the really surprising one because we're pretty bullish on crypto too. They must have possibly some regulations or things that kind of hamper them in Japan. But yeah, that's a surprising one. But who would have thought, you know, Vietnam and Philippines and Turkey and Peru and these guys and their amount of Bitcoin adoption. And you look at China at 7% and India at 9%. It sounds like it's a small margin, but you realize they have 1 billion people in their country. China is like 1.5 billion, I think, even. So they both have 100 million people using crypto. But the overall between the world population is a very low number. It's at like 2% of the actual whole world population is involved in crypto. And maybe that number is old. Maybe it's up to like 4 or 5%. But if you think that you're too late, no. You're getting in before Bitcoin's 100,000. You're early. You're early. And here's the number one thing that you get from people is like, Bitcoin is too high. It's too late to get in. Bitcoin's too much. I don't have $40,000 to put into Bitcoin. Look, cryptocurrency is not a stock. Cryptocurrency, you can buy small little bits of the crypto. You don't have to buy a whole coin. A smaller unit of Bitcoin is called a Satoshi. You can put $50 and buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, and that would give you a certain number of Satoshis. All right? I don't have a full Bitcoin either. I haven't made my $1 million yet. All right? So, with that aside then, you can just invest a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. Because Bitcoin is going to go up. Not financial advice, my opinion. But it is the opinion that is shared by anybody else who is in the space. Bitcoin cannot help but go up. And the only thing that would stop it or is more likely temporarily set back the skyrocket for Bitcoin is some sort of black swan event, which of course we've been good for now with the whole the whole health crisis going on and all of these things and all of these little tricks that everyone wants to play, right? But all that does is pause. That's all it does, is it takes the foot off the gas for Bitcoin. That's it. It's going to continue to go up. Compared to fiat, it's guaranteed because of the fiat money printing that they're doing in America. It is guaranteed to go up versus that. Yes. So that is what we have with Bitcoin and how you can use it, who is using it, and what you can do with it if you decide you don't want to hold on to Bitcoin. You want to, I guess, buy it and wait for it to go up 200%, and then you can buy a new television on Amazon, which fine. When you're getting up into 200-300% profits, you should, take some money off the table, cover your initial investment, and wait to buy the dips. Sure. But of course, you can go buy a Tesla. You can go buy anything off of Amazon. You can buy computer parts off Newegg. You can do all these things. All these things. All right. And I think that's about all we have for that in this video. Remember, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Do all the things. And we'll see ya in the next one.